Anchor whenever it's off cooldown to see whether there's an opportunity, a little less of that all or nothing engage approach. And I don't mind that, especially for a game 1. Allow yourself to have some non-committal CC to start things off. So those are going to be your drafts. Who is going to be able to take game 1?
I mean, the difference in these two drafts is pretty intense, right? Because you have a lot of consistent damage output in the late game with Damwon Kias. Obviously the Jace poke, but you can engage in once you get that chip damage through from Ghost. You have the consistent damage that Ryze is going to offer you, and you have 2 great engage tools with the Rel and the Xin Zhao. But on the other side of things, you know, this is a composition that Nongshim can get a really nice tempo advantage with. Start to get ahead early. Peanut becomes fed. His spears become deadly. Rich has a lot of flank angles he could take. Duckdom, fantastic on the Kai'Sa. I still personally really prefer Damwon Kia's draft because I think it's just too big to fail if we go to the late game. But Nongshim, if they get a tempo advantage, this draft is still extremely powerful.
I think a lot of it does hinge on the shoulders of Duckdom as well, much like a lot of the Nongshim drafts that we have seen. If this Kai'Sa hits critical mass, we've seen what Duckdom can do, right? It is absolutely terrifying, but it will require some snowball assistance. I'm expecting that Peanut is going to be playing around mid and bottom lane. The Kennen, not as reliable. Plus, you know, if you have some Merc Treads there for Khan or something like that, then things are going to be pretty comfortable up there. So I'm expecting Rich to be playing some weak side Kennen. Is a neutralizing matchup, right? Like Kennen just in general is just capable of surviving in a lot of lanes. But I think that Damwon are probably going to play through that lane.
Yeah,
and, try and get that Rift Herald and crash it.
Exactly. I think they're definitely going to try to snowball an advantage for Khan early. I mean, this is the pick they prioritized first, and it's a matchup where if you do get ahead versus the Kennen, you can start really bullying him out of the lane, push him back. You've got kill pressure up there. So the play for Nongshim, I think, needs to be around the bottom side of the map and mid, where you can obviously catch Ryze if he is overextending and being greedy with a spear, but the bottom side of the map is where you can really start to get a nice advantage. Lower Ziggs' snowball ability, and if you get Duckdom ahead, it's going to be massive. But I think the biggest champion who is going to want that tempo lead is going to be the Nidalee, because you get the fast Night Harvester, might even go for Dark Seal in this game eventually, and then you can really shape how pre-fight works, because yes, there is a lot of poke on Damwon Kia's side, but every player on Damwon Kia's side, if they get hit by a spear, is going to be chunked down so hard that it gives you so much more potential to fight. Slicing Maelstrom engage, stuff like that.
And I think that also, like, both of these teams have compositions that can find that sort of wombo sort of engage, you know, with the Magnet Storm plus Mega Inferno Bomb certainly is one of those options. But I think Khan wants to keep Nongshim at arm's length the majority of the time, as Showmaker is going to do exactly that here with Gori, who is getting shoved out of this lane. Certainly a difficult one for anyone that's melee. You know, if you stand in a minion wave against Ryze, it just feels bad. And yeah, Showmaker hitting level 2, going to make Gori's life difficult, but the setup is still going to be there. It's always going to be there.
Yeah. 2 of the stats we just had up on the screen, Rich being 3-0 on the Kennen, Kellen 4-0 on this Nautilus, this Barrel 10-0 on the Rel. That was during a very dominant spring season. But
we also played a couple of them in summer as well, but they were a couple of the victories, as we can see.
I just wanted to point out that Rich's Kennen, even though he's, you know, 100% win rate on it, a lot of those games he has lost lane. A lot of those games he has been behind. Like, it was not about him. So I would argue that even though it's a champion he's historically been good on in the past, it was kind of a liability for Nongshim, a lot of that Freaka series that we did watch. So see how he performs this time around, because he's playing against, you know, we jokingly call it one of the best Jaces in Korea, one of the best postmodern ones in Khan, and it's not going to be an easy start in this matchup. Yeah,
he was, Khan is definitely the man that kind of developed the hyper-aggressive Jace play, right? We talk a lot about, you know, the mantle that was picked up by Noguri, but that was set up by Khan back in the Longzhu days.
When you see, when you hear the term Korean Jace, usually Khan's face pops into your mind.
Yeah. Sort of like I've got Khan and Smev sort of grinning at me saying, yes, we're the ones that designed this.
And Rich is, you know, he's definitely making a name for himself on it, and he comes up in the list, but the top of the list is definitely Khan at this moment in time. Is he's not going to take the long path here towards the top side of the map, but will not be able to get his Krugs. Well, get the remnants of them at least.
Yep, going to be able to tidy it up as Peanut over here with Bewitching Nidalee as well, my personal favorite Nidalee skin. Bit of a shout out. As, okay. Gonna check out what Canyon's doing as he throws down the ward, but this is not really what you want, Peanut, as Wind becomes Lightning, and there's the Shock Blast. A little bit late on the flash, but still gets out to relative safety, as Showmaker gonna get stunned up there in the mid lane. Throws a Q a little bit wide.
Very, very unfortunate that Peanut has to use his flash there. And arguably he could have saved it, but you don't want to take that chance. He does end up getting hit by the Shock Blast, but if you do end up getting caught by that Xin Zhao knockup, you are dead. So
yeah,
goes over the wall there, or flashes out rather, and does end up escaping, but that means a lot of lost power for this Nidalee that isn't going to be able to get that same sort of tempo leads. Look at this career, 41 games. 80% win rate.
Well, now it's might be getting a little bit difficult as he decides to go back in on Rich. There's the teleport from Showmaker, though.
Can he
interrupt?
interrupt?
Gori wants to try and interrupt. He's not going to be able to. Rich going to be preemptively flashing, but that means that he's just going to get taken down. That's going to be first blood, slide over extension, but great capitalization from Damwon.
I'd really like to get a replay of actually what was the lead up to the interrupt attempt there from Gori, because if your game plan is revolving around the fact that you're going to try to interrupt the teleport there from Showmaker, you've got to be on that. You've got to interrupt that. And that's definitely something they discuss, is the perfectly timed Shock Blast here on the teleport, and from Rich gets a little bit of extra damage done there to the cannon, but you've got to stop that teleport from coming through if you want to actually look for that 1v1 in the top side of the map, and he just simply was not on time. Like, I want to see the mid exchange more than anything else, so I'm watching on the mini-map. He's just under turret. It's just too far away. Just simply put, he didn't expect it to come through during this exchange. Not a communication between Gori and Rich, like, make sure you interrupt his teleport. Rich loses his flash here as well.
I think might have had his Slice and Dice on cooldown as well. Otherwise, you'd assume walks into the minion wave, Slice, Dice, stun. But maybe just assumed that he'd have enough time, so it could have also been an unforced error here. As we have a look, J6 currently 71.4%. I think a little bit lower than our Varus J stats, but I think we have a larger sample size of that one, not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's actually pretty decent size now, 7 games. As Nongshim are going to be able to get this break early with the prio they have bot side, which is good news considering that early kill there.
Yep.
On the top side.
Now we've got a minute and a half until the Rift Herald, so Nongshim can set up for that one as well. I do like a bit of that neutral focus to come through, and what I really want now is to see Peanut focus on that mid lane.
Yeah.
Showmaker had to use his flash in order to lock down that first blood.
Exactly. That's the one place where you have a little bit more kill pressure, because you know that there's a guaranteed stun, right, with the Renekton. You have the spear to connect, and there's no flash play for Showmaker in this scenario. Whereas for the rest of Nongshim going into that Rift Herald fight, they've lost 2 critical summoner spells in the flashes for the Kennen and the Nidalee, so that Rift Herald fight is going to be so difficult to pull off. Not to mention that Rich, of course, doesn't have teleport, so won't be able to reposition to look for a slicing maelstrom from a different angle.
Oh, and you can see Showmaker knows exactly what's up here. Like, he's playing so defensively, just allowing Gori to hold this wave here. And he sort of has to, right? Yes, he does have control vision, but you get that flash in, you get a pounce over from Peanut, and he hits the spear. Like, I don't know, man. It can all happen so quickly as Nongshim are going to rotate over. Showmaker's fears are going to be realized.
Yeah, his position of the wave is so good here, too.
Yeah, Gori's really making life hard for Showmaker.
This is just really unfortunate for Gori here, because if he was able to get closer, there could have been a flash engage there from Kellen. There was some opportunity there, but as it turns out, Damwon and Kia not only get away with this, Showmaker's totally fine. There's no punish play even though Kellen roams, and they have prio.
I mean, there's a 20 CS lead. It's still worth it entirely for Gori.
Yeah. But they have no prio for this. Gori's trying to get in there. Khan's a bit zoned out.
Yeah, Rich getting some control of the wave. Spears coming through once again as Shelly is going to go on an excursion. But will then retreat back to this
Damwon
pit.
Really respecting the power of this early game Renekton and how much he's going to be able to do in a 5v5 fight, and they're just not going to pull the trigger to come through and actually group for this one. Their comp is very fragile at this stage, so even though they had a really nice setup in terms of prio there, they're not able to get in first.
Well, they might be still going for some sort of fight as the Rift Herald is down very, very low. Now Beryl moving himself into position. Only level 5 as it is going to be the secure on that Rift Herald. Kellen in a bit of trouble. Magnet Storm not actually available. That was Canyon with his ultimate. As now Khan dives on forward. Rich throws out the ulti, but it's already the exhaust down on the cannon. Ghost is going to be able to pick up that kill as now the Nautilus is just fed to the wolves and Doctarm pushed completely out of the fight. Peanut Just nothing he can do. So, 3 kills going over to Damwon Kia and nothing in response from Nongshim outside of Shelly.
Yeah, Kellen doesn't have his ultimate. He's locked down. He's chain CC'd. Is blown up very early into the fight, and there's just not much you could do as Nongshim when you're trying to turn like that outside of the slicing maelstrom, which we did see, and they were almost able to pick Khan, but he just barely survives. As a positioning here, you're locked between, you know, a Rift Herald and a hard place here, unfortunately, as Nongshim.
Yeah.
Or rather, I misspoke and said Kellen. It was, of course, the pickoff there onto Renekton. As Kellen is unable to do anything with his ultimate regardless, though, as he's only level 5. And if he could maybe set up, if he could ult there and they could collapse in, then the cannon comes through. It's a totally different story, but, you know, the stage of the game, you're level 5 as the support. Not going to happen. Chain CC was good on Gory. Damwon Kia, yeah, they lose out on the Rift Herald, which goes to Kellen, by the way, and pick up a ton of gold. So I think they're very happy with how the exchange goes.
Yeah, and Showmaker is especially happy. He's now sitting on 3-0-1, picking up 2-0-3 in that last fight to augment his first blood that he's already picked up as Kellen. Going to come through for a gank. A couple of marks of the Storm are here, so the stun is going to come down. Great dredge line is going to land here as Khan looks to try and turn it around, but that ain't happening. Rich picks up the first kill for Nongshim of this semifinal series.
There he goes. Finally is able to make something happen. Kellen has been so aggressive on the map. Has been looking for picks this entire time because this team comp does have such great power in the early game with its CC if you can land it. So when you do set up that cannon stun, it's really easy to dredge line right afterwards and guarantee that kill. The same could be true, of course, of the Renekton stun in the mid lane. He hasn't been able to find that follow-up until finally just now. That's going to be a little bit of extra gold into Rich's pocket, and he's going to take that opportunity to reset.
Wow, Ghost is pretty aggressive on this Ziggs, as he's going to almost kill Doctor, down to 150 health, and that will definitely deter him from trying to back anywhere near this outer turret bottom lane. So that was one plate already taken, but you can see how
it's Ziggs.
the passive really does chunk turrets. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, Kellen nowhere to be found. He's on his way down, so Doctor just has to hold on as best as he can here, and that's perfectly timed now with the Drake spawn here for Damwon Kia. Look at the positioning of Barrel. He's wrapping around. They are looking for blood. In worst case scenario, they just grab another plate here very likely with this play. And they can just back off to the Dragon. This is really aggressive from Canyon, but the payoff is so huge. And there's nothing that Nongshim could realistically do right now because they have no prio mid. Gory can't come down here. He has to long walk it.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they put Showmaker top lane because he can teleport to sort of just the mid lane, right? And then Realm Warp to close the gap even further, right? You don't need to have a water position as we've got a gank. This is what the Renekton Nidalee can do. The Jace, absolutely nothing he can do to respond as now a Slicing Maelstrom comes in. Another decent exhaust. But he's not tired enough as they do manage to get one. There's the knock up onto Gory, but he turns it onto the Xin Zhao, and Nongshim have found their way back.
And this is going to be Rift Herald getting tossed down in the mid. That's going to be a ton of extra plate gold. They also did not get the Drake, so that's a Drake available here for Nongshim to take as well after this with the extra prior they're going to get. And Nongshim just loves playing these wombo combos. They punish the fact that Damwon Kia are trying to be both on Drake and, of course, around that mid lane. Then Rich's teleport comes back online. Ghost.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get that fade away.
Yeah, he's got his satchel. He'll be fine. But this is another style of team comp where you have so much blow-up potential. I'm going to watch this
one out from Rich's perspective.
Yeah. And he flashes to get the stun, and then Kellen follows up.
Okay.
So he's like making sure he gets the kill. He's like, I got to get this kill. And then Peanut's lurking here. Canyon goes in, but the slice and dice, as you mentioned, is just so easy to close the gap. And Barrel is so far away. When he does finally attract repel, it's too late. Gory is so healthy.
Not to mention the fact that Showmaker teleports in to die.
Yeah, that's just a giveaway kill. And that's a free Rift Herald drop. Kellen's got it, and Nongshim now looking to take this Drake we were talking about.
Well, in goes Canyon. He's going to try and steal it, and he does so. Now the knock up onto Gory. He gets himself towards the backline as now Kellen is trying to get that re-engage, but Doctor dives forward, immediately gets CC'd as Canyon. He's looking for him. Can he find the audacious charges? No. Slips into the brush. No vision available for Damwon Kia as Khan. Can he find the shock blast? And the answer is yes. Doctor was peeking out, and unfortunately there was a Jace there as Damwon Kia, once again, as the group up occurs, if they can get on their own terms, they're able to win the team fight.
They also just Nongshim didn't have the ults they needed for that team fight. Slicing Maelstrom is just now coming back up. You don't have Dominus as Renekton there. And they had a pretty thin window to pull off that Drake take, and Damwon Kia know that. They come in, they're ready for the punish. Canyon can get over the wall, and they get the steal and win the ensuing fight. And this is just a great way as Damwon to punish a risky play. Is just walk forward, walk towards them. They don't have those critical ultimates they need to team fight in this early game because they use them in that mid fight.
Yeah. And it was only 2 plates taken by Shelly, whereas you saw that Ghost was able to get 3 there on the bottom side, so things working out okay despite Damwon not being able to pick up that Herald. This was just a very self-assured play here by Canyon.
Dokdom's not here, and you just, I mean, it's so easy to engage onto this when you know there's no punish play. And Dokdom lives for a really long time here, but obviously they're completely outnumbered. He walks left into this brush, but he doesn't know Khan is here, so no harm, no foul there on that one, but
Khan just predicting what was going on. Scania's like, yep.
Like, you know,
I think I know.
Boom.
No comment.
이거 미드 밀래?
Let's go mid.
You want to push mid?
I like that.
Right,
Well,
Rich.
Oh dear. Okay, Wind becomes lightning. Not going to come through. Shirley going to pop down though, as Rich is going to take this as his opportunity to leave. And Canyon's just going to join Khan up here. They should be able to wipe this turret off the face of the map pretty comfortably. Favor is being returned on the bottom side here for Nongshim though. Let's see how far they're going to be able to get. But it's a little bit slower, and this inner turret is exactly where Damwon Kia's eyes are. As Shirley, this is her opportunity to get a little bit more value in this game.
There's nobody here to defend this. Rich is just going to concede it.
Yeah, so quickly. This might be another charge.
Yeah, I think it will be. They don't have any range damage here. I mean, outside of Rich, and he does deny it.
Yeah, is denied. So thankfully, if you poke her eye while she's darting on forward at that low health, you get the aura.
You're still right. She's still charged. She just didn't hit her target.
Yes, exactly. And that turret was likely going to regen a whole bunch of health as well, because pretty difficult to get a push that deep.
Yeah, it's 16 minutes into the game, but I mean, this is the Damwon Kia starting to pick up so much extra gold, though. Getting that inner turret versus, you know, the damage we saw mid.
Showmaker spots out the problem. Now trying to return it as well, as the Everfrost is going to land. Dokdom in a lot of trouble as there's a Realm Warp. Dokdom, oh no, he has no way of getting out. No, does find the ulti. That was beautifully done. However, meant nothing in the end as Wind did become lightning and Canyon picked up the kill.
So, I mean, he's so fed in this game, Showmaker is. You just blow up instantly.
I loved waiting for the killer instinct though afterwards. That was actually a really clever idea, but just wasn't enough as the response came through.
Now, I mean, Damwon Kia have so much control over the map, and Dokdom being dead now twice in this game means he's missing out on so much critical farm for the Kai'Sa to still be relevant heading into this mid game, where Ghost is well and truly online, right? Showmaker, we can't even express through the English language how good he is right now in terms of where his gold's at. Jace is fed as well at this point, and you're really starting to worry about being able to take objectives now at this point, because Peanut is 1-1-3, not where he wants to be, and this composition is so reliant on hitting those spears. As we watch this from Showmaker's perspective, Sweeper sees it, calls it out. He's like, I'm fighting, drops the Everfrost, and Canyon's here, so he's like, I'm ulting. Let's go. And yes, he does, of course, hold that and get out of there, but dies regardless.
Yeah, get the vision over, and because he landed the Wind becomes lightning, the extended range on Audacious Charge going to be enough to get there, but it was almost a great escape from Dokdom.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate here that Nongshim don't have great ways to get back in this game. They don't have side lane control. You know, they don't have a fed Peanut who can start threatening people right now. He just has to kind of keep farming so that he can hope to be relevant later. But the fact of the matter is, Damwon Kia's comp is so easy to execute as well from ahead with the vision control that they now have and are now perpetuating across the map.
Yeah. Think about how many Mega Inferno Bombs there are going to be with this beautiful, glorious Cloud Soul.
It's an Atlas semi-final cast, you know.
Yep.
It's just what's going to happen.
We get guaranteed the best Dragon Soul in the game.
Yeah, and it's pretty fantastic for the Ziggs. It's going to be pretty good for, I guess, you know, some of the other champions, but not as much. Think
about all of the transforming Jace can do. Yeah, let's go.
Khan's going to be zooming.
Yeah, and Showmaker, he's just going to be teleporting everywhere. It's like an episode of Futurama over here. Absolutely fantastic. Love it.
It is actually really important for Nongshim's comp, I would argue, more so if they were able to get it. But it's not looking great for their chances at this moment in time. I gotta say, you know, this game looked very good for Nongshim at times, but it was always when Damwon-Kia had overextended and they had a game plan, they looked for the combo. And it's crazy how much Nongshim have really leaned into this style so hard here in playoffs. Instead of just trying to play the standard macro game or just going all in on Duckdom playing as Aphelios or playing more scaling comps, they're so reliant, even without the Diana, on Kennen engages. Nidalee, you know, coming in with Renekton, you get the stun chain together, you do a bunch of blow-up damage, you kill a single target, and I think that identity is just so transparent, and Damwon-Kia are getting more control over the map. They're playing a comp that, yes, if you lose a few fights, you can fall behind, but they're trading up in these fights now. And this is what I'm worried about. This is part of my 3-1 prediction is, yes, I think there will be one game Nongshim steal away, but we're already seeing this in game one is which team is playing more standard? The defending world champions. Which team has a huge lead in this game and is going towards a late game where their comp is better? It's the defending world champions in Damwon-Kia. And we'll see if the draft changes and evolves for Nongshim. And this game is not over yet by any means, but it's at a very, very tough crossroads for Nongshim.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried because I think that the draft can work in what, you know, the sort of counter to what Damwon is, which is creating that chaos and then living in it. But Nongshim made, like, what, one play with the Nidalee Renekton in the mid lane? It was successful. It was a great play. It worked really well. However, it's been 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we've seen one.
That's the problem.
We need to see more of that. We needed to see a little bit more chaos and craziness to come through. And we know that this team is capable of it, but Peanut has been playing this Diana playstyle for so long and is now doing the same thing here with this Nidalee. And yes, it can work in some team compositions, but in this one, you know, when you're flanked by the Renekton that does want to be able to have agency early, it doesn't really work out as, okay, Damwon-Kia just going to start off the Baron.
I mean, they have so much vision control right now. This is a, you know, ward that's disabled, of course, or rather a trap here in the brush. Thought it was a ward for a second.
Well, so vision going to be given over, but as you can see, Peanut is nowhere near this pit.
Yeah,
Damwon-Kia know it. Yeah, they're just going to burst it down very comfortably. Damwon-Kia just walk in, grab themselves a Baron, and Canyon's not going to be able to make it to the Realm Warp. However, he's happy to stick around here as the rest of the team are just blocking the escape. There's the ulti Canyon trying to get Gori into the rest of his team. Maybe not exactly what they wanted, as Ghost doesn't have the ultimate, remember. Good exhaust onto Rich in the backline, and Ghost trying to stand his ground as Peanut is going to get taken out. Gori flashing forward, trying to get a kill, and will be able to lock down the Rise. As now Nongshim, there's only one Baron left remaining. Can they take it? And yes, it's an ace from Nongshim as the Noodles wake up.
I mean, Damwon-Kia really tried to force that fight, and the idea is a good one. You have the engage coming through from Canyon, which splits the front line there away from Duckdom, which is where Showmaker was flanking to try to blow him up, but Duckdom lived so long, and Gori got an insane amount of value in this fight. Between his damage, his dominance, like, he was just untouchable. He was untouched, rather. And yes, Nongshim come into this fight with no ability to shut down the Baron. So you get the Baron buff here, and then you decide to just go Hail Mary. The flank here from Showmaker is amazing because he's looking to zone out Duckdom. Canyon says, okay, I'm going in, kill Duckdom, and we win this fight through a war of attrition because we have so much damage. But look at where Gori is. He zones out Khan, and then suddenly, unfortunately, Damwon-Kia on the wrong side of this team fight. This is the kind of comp that Nongshim wants to walk towards. It struggles to sometimes close the gap. You close the gap for them, and it's a very, very awkward one here. And now Nongshim shore up a ton of that gold, do, of course, completely eliminate the Baron buff from the map, as you pointed out.
Yeah,
and this is one way back
foul
to the
play
game.
available whatsoever. As that was exactly what Nongshim needed. It's not going to get them a gold lead just yet, but they're only 2,000 behind, and at 23 minutes, that is not the worst, but we still need to see more of these plays as Khan taking so much damage here from Rich.
Yeah, you've got to be so careful, Chase. You're still very fragile. He actually went for Ghostblade this game, so he is really just trying to zoom around the map and get that poke damage done, threaten anybody who's trying to clear wards, control that vision.
Also going to be a death cap second from Rich as well, and I respect it. As in goes Canyon. Finds a bit of a knock-up onto Rich as Mega Inferno Bomb just to soften up the members of Nongshim. Can Peanut get enough heals down is the question, and it looks like they're not going to be able to save this inner turret. Gori thinking about heading forward for a bit of a flank, but there's no Docdom there. He's on the top side of the map as Showmaker is taking an inner in the mid lane, and it's as if Darmonkia do have the Baron because they've now taken 2 inner turrets. Can we bring up the Baron power play? Even though they don't have the buff, maybe it's still working out like that because now it's 2 inner turrets and a Drake that Darmonkia are taking.
Their lead and their composition still stands, despite the fact that Nongshim did kill the entire team. They also got a lot of gold themselves because it was a very close fight. You know, 3 for 5 there. And so as a result, you can still push with the advantages you have to grab those inner turrets and then take the Drake that comes with it. So now Damwon on that Cloud Soul point. And this is going to be amazing for a Jace who's already got the Ghost Blade, already is going to be very, very deadly, and we could see a lot more flanks when that, you know, extra speed comes through for the Jace, but Showmaker is the problem. He also has a Banshee's Veil now. He's going to be so difficult to pick off. If he, you know, gets hit by a spear, he's not going to worry about it. You know, that's just part of what this build does. So you want to pop that with anything you can if you can, but if you're trying to focus Showmaker in these fights, you're going to have a really hard time because he can, of course, engage into the fight late. He can flank. Yeah. He's not going to be at the front.
I'd also like to see Canyon throw a few less crocodiles into his team, which is what he did before that ace happened. Of course, if you can perma-CC the Renekton and then take him down in an instant, then sure. But that time around, it didn't quite work. And without Ghost having his ultimate available, that did make things a little bit more difficult. I think certainly some options here for Damwon to improve.
I think they definitely thought that they miscalculated that they could blow up Duckdom instantly with that Realm Warp flank, and if they do, then it was
very close. I think it was like 1 Q from Showmaker went a little bit wide, and that allowed the Killer Instinct to come through by that little bit of extra space.
Exactly. He got the shield and then, you know, was able to survive a little bit longer. He's got a Wits in this build, so he's, you know, starting to be able to tank a little bit more of that damage when he does decide to press the R button, so living a little bit longer. And Damwon Kia, you know, they're still in firm control of this game. There's been a few hiccups, right? And there's been a few moments here for Nongshim where they actually get to have that crazy, chaotic fight you were talking about. And they still have one more opportunity in this game to take that fight either at the next Baron, which I think is probably unlikely that we'll see Damwon Kia try to take a risky fight for, but more likely on the Cloud Soul, where Rich will have that death cap online, hopefully. And you can look for that big fight at the later part of the game to start taking all the extra available gold that's up, because 3 inner turrets are still available for Damwon Kia, for Nongshim to take from Damwon Kia, get all that extra money, and come back into this game. But if they don't win that next fight, it is pretty much over, right? So they've got one more big chance. There's the death cap purchase for Rich.
Ooh, this is big. There is the exhaust still available for Beryl, so he will have to play around that one. And the problem for me is, like, even if you exhaust him, like now with this build, it's a lot of extra damage that the cannon will have available to him. So vision being cleared around this Baron pit, and with all of the inner turrets down, means that it's so difficult for Nongshim to find themselves a safe way to get towards this Baron. There's Canyon, Beryl, and Khan just walking around as the goon squad here, just making sure that Nongshim abide by the rules, and the rules state that you're not allowed anywhere near the Baron pit, according to Damwon Kia.
Yeah. That's the one thing that they don't want Nongshim to have, is control of the Baron pit, where Damwon Kia have to be the ones walking towards them through a choke point that Kennen can control. And that's the LCK Kennen pit, where we do see a lot of teams just walk into Kennen ults, including Rich on the Kennen, and actually give away free team fights. And when you do have Baron control as Nongshim, you can force fights like that, and Damwon Kia just want to group up around it, put some control wards up, prevent Nongshim from ever being able to get into that checkmate scenario there. And that's why the group stands here like this for the next minute and a half.
Yeah.
They do have vision control themselves, but not enough control and not enough knowledge on the red side of the map to actually start this or do anything crazy like they did before.
I'd really like to see some priority put on the Cloud Soul. It's just going to have a lot of value for Damwon. Really adds to their engage potential, and that's why the Rel was picked, right? Because otherwise this composition does lack a bit of engage, as now Peanut going to dash over the wall, finds Beryl. Who's found who, I guess, is the question, as he's just in there sweeping out some wards.
Beryl, you know, this could be a Beryl moment if he's alone.
Lightning comes forward as Khan finds a Shock Blast, gets the ult out of Canyon. As Peanut's going to hop himself away.
They really just want to poke Nongshim down and then start a Baron. Peanut.
Yeah, teleport is available for Rich, though, so he can try and get in from a flank. Peanut going to look to try and steal this one away, and Damwon, they do not want to risk a flip.
Yeah, I mean,
just back off.
They don't even have to try to do this. They do back away, but that was extremely risky what Canyon did there. Did have to pop his ultimate. Barrel, I was also very concerned that he was going to go in there alone to try to clear some vision, because that has been the demise of Barrel a lot in the second half here of 2021, is trying to greedily clear vision, then ending up getting caught. But really, really risky scenario there for Damwon Kia, but they do end up escaping and backing out. Rich did teleport, in fact, as well, so that's actually huge because he's no longer going to be able to flank with that.
Yeah, I was about to mention, like, it's like they did that entire bait play
just
in order to get that teleport, but it also loses them priority on this dragon. Of course, giving up one Cloud Drake is not going to mean too much, but Damwon Kia now don't have that to help augment their win conditions.
Exactly.
They're going to focus once again around this Baron. They still need to clear out a lot of vision now, though, as certainly didn't quite work out as far as retaining that tempo control that Damwon Kia have had all game long.
And, you know, in this game, Peanut is going to get stronger as time goes on. Nongshim buying a lot of time with this Drake, and his damage is going to get higher and higher as they start this once again.
Now, fair bit of damage potential, especially with Showmaker and Ghost here, just to throw volley after volley at this Baron. As in goes Kellen, looks for a little bit, is now depth charge going to land onto Khan. Doesn't knock up anyone else as the crash down from Beryl is going to get him to relative safety. Void Seeker not going to find anything, neither will the Spear, as Damwon Kia still looking now for a bit of a reset. Nongshim once again with some control around the Baron pit as Gori had precast the ultimate.
Yeah, he
didn't
had
get any value.
No vision to chase anybody down and try to collapse in. As Nongshim, if you use any more ultimates in this exchange, you can't win the follow-up where Damwon Kia just reset and walk right back towards the Baron, which is very likely to happen here. So they don't actually commit in, they don't look for a fight, but now you've lost your other teleport because Gori had to teleport in. So both of these Baron starts for Damwon Kia remove a teleport from the map, which removes a lot of side lane pressure. And they're just going to start this once again, like I said.
And this is Void Staff spike as well from Showmaker, so he just completed his 4th item. This is a very dangerous rise.
Rich, I don't...
Banshees right now is Rich looking for a potential flank play. As you can see, Damwon Kia somewhat grouped up as in goes Peanut, but not able to steal away the Baron. That was a decent 50-50, but just not able to be won by Nongshim. As now they're looking to try and corral. The flash forward from Kellen as Peanut has to go all golden preemptively, and now he's flashing out of the pit. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb, but Gori, he's got himself the Sterix. Canyon fails to flash to get over the wall. Meanwhile, the bottom fight is going as well, and Rich is going to go golden. Damwon Kia, they want no more of this, and they'll back away with 4 Barons intact.
4 Barons intact, much better than the last one, but
yes.
In this case, Rich just doesn't, he's not able to get anything done on the flank. If he actually is able to get in and use a Slicing Maelstrom, this fight looks completely different, but he's unable to do so and holds onto it for so long. He doesn't have stopwatch, so he's so reluctant to go in. As Peanut just looks for the steal attempt here, gets out smoked by Canyon. And then look at Rich's positioning here on the bottom side of the fight. He's trying to control that choke point we've talked about so much because he has flash. He can flash over the wall and go in, but Damwon Kia never give him the opportunity. So by the time that he actually uses the Slicing Maelstrom here, most of Nongshim is zoned out enough to where Damwon Kia get the exit. They're able to get out of here. The Slicing Maelstrom is gone before they get through this choke point we've been talking about so much. And they get out of dodge with only losing 1 player. Extremely calculated macro plays here from Damwon Kia. 3 Baron attempts, the 3rd one they know. There could be no flank teleports. They hit that big power spike with the Void Staff you were talking about. Brilliant play here from Damwon Kia. It looks kind of cheesy, it looks kind of aggressive, but it's really smart.
In the end, I think it's still a 50-50 though. So, yes, they won it, but is that like, I don't know. It always feels a little bit worrying when you see the 50-50s elected for. However, a lot of people have told me that the LPL is the best region in the world, and they do that a lot. So I guess maybe we're just improving here in the LCK. As Damwon Kia now trying to get this push working out on the bottom side. Showmaker does have his Realm Warp available, so he can turn up at a moment's notice. And here is the poke available. The siege from Damwon Kia is terrifying. We haven't really seen it so much in this game, but now will be on full demonstration. Spears to come through, and Peanut lands one onto Canyon. Great dredge line as well from Kellen, who immediately has to break a stopwatch. Mega Inferno Bomb, and Kellen is just obliterated.
And so much good frontlining here from Canyon, who now has a GA too, so there's just really no risk involved. He soaks up so much damage, and then Damwon Kia pounce. and they could do so from such long range. Now they could just siege up this inhibitor turret. They've got the Baron buff. This is so difficult to play as Nongshim. You don't have any flank angles. You don't have any opportunities here.
Yeah, and 4v5, they just can't do it. So Kia, they just get themselves together. It's just the well-oiled machine walking through with 5 legs. And just going to look to try and smash down some Nexus turrets now. We've got 7 seconds on Kellen, but the Nexus turret will go down, and they're avoiding the spears. They're avoiding any sort of engage potential as Rich doesn't have flash, so the cannon can't really get in. It's like, yes, he can dash cannon, but that's about it. And now looking for a potential flank. Kellen's going to come up once again, but immediately goes back to the death chamber. Just really like the black and white screen. As Gory now in trouble. Peanut going to go golden in the middle of the fight. As you can see, Canyon ignoring the slicing Maelstrom. And Kia still looking for more. Ghost has a lot of damage available, but it's a 3v3 as Dom will be taken down. It's a triple kill for Canyon. Oh my goodness, Nongshim, they just didn't quite have it at the end there. And yes, they will be able to push them out of the base, but at what cost? It looks like this will be.
It's another inhibitor turret as well. It's another inhibitor turret. It's guaranteed Cloud Soul here. And I mean, you do see a teleport drop down for Gory. He's going to try to flank here, but now they're just going to collapse onto Peanut.
They're looking for it. This is actually somewhat dangerous as there's some low health bars and Gory has a lot of AoE. Peanut looking to try and get some spears to land, but with no vision, the face check is too dangerous.
Well, it does prevent them from doing the Drake for the time being here as well. Nongshim do have the Kellen defense at home for a moment, and they're just going to start this.
Yeah, well, the teleport immediately from Khan as soon as he comes out. 1 second and Showmaker is going to join him as Canyon is going to be able to come through. Can he win another fight is the question. The answer is absolutely, as it's even Ghost that picks that one up. And here is the Cloud Soul. As whenever you press R, you're going to be running straight towards that last remaining Nexus turret. As, oh no, Gory's not going to be able to make it. As the Realm Warp is going to be used just for the fun of it.
Well,
that just made sure that there was nowhere that Gory was going to be able to go. Crash down avoided completely as now Canyon dives on top of Kellen, but he dredge lines himself away. Dom's still pretty healthy here, but they still want to try and take him out. Rich in trouble, goes golden and throws down the ultimate as well, but Kellen is the one that's going to be taken out. Khan diving on forward, finds the cannon, but he's got a GA. Goes with no mana, but still going to be able to get it. The 1-2 punch of the satchel into the auto, and the Nexus will go down. Kia eventually take this game, and yes, they had a lot of control, but Nongshim, they found a few good moments, and we'll see whether they can hold on to them moving into game 2.
It was very much